Hey, it's Jonathan Toshnik. I got the question, what is the most successful way to grow a lawn treatment business? So what's the most successful marketing activity? At our company, I can't point to any one marketing activity that's the key. That's the absolute solution because we do a lot of different stuff. So let me tell you about a couple things that I think are absolutely critical. And so number one, the internet, period. It's huge. We have multiple websites. We do Google AdWords. We do SEO optimization. So we're trying to get our websites ranked up towards the top of the search engines, meaning you type in lawn care Dallas or whatever city, lawn care Tampa, and your lawn care company comes up in the top six listings on Google or Bing or Yahoo. That's really important. We really get a lot of business from the internet. So I really recommend spending the time and money and effort to dominate the search engine rankings. So go look at some of my other videos on this subject. Listen to some of the other things I've said about it. You want to go out and see if there's enough search traffic for your specific keyword. So for example, if you're selling lawn care and fertilization we control, I typically find clients search on lawn care or lawn service. They're not generally searching on fertilization. They are in some cases, but generally they're still searching lawn care in the city name or lawn service in the city and state. So really, really start to work on that side of your business. So that's one huge one for us. That's a huge one. You've got to work on the internet side of the business. Then I would really work on referrals. So referrals are really important even when you're small. They get really important when you're big. So if you're like us and you've got, you're approaching 2,000 clients, if I can get 10% of my client base to refer me just one client every year, that's 200 new clients to my business. If I can get more than that, it gets better and better. So when you're small, okay, so referrals are a little less important, but you really need to start working on them from day one. And I'm not one of these guys that buys into this, pound your client for referrals, ask, beg them for referrals. I think it looks pitiful personally. I have a hard time with a lot of the referral books. I've never been able to say the stuff they all say, where, hey, sit down and give me, the name of 10 of your closest friends that might need my service. I can't even say that to my clients. I mean, I'm just not that personality. It's pressure, it's begging. I just don't do that. I can't do it. So referrals are gained, I believe, by being really good, communicating with your client, and then in a very nonchalant way, asking them for clients. So I can record more on referrals at a later time, but really start to work on referrals. And don't do it in an aggressive way. Do it more in a friend way. Like you do if you had a buddy that was, that was a plumber. And how would you refer your buddy to a friend? Think about it that same way. How would you refer a friend in the business to someone else? Well, ask your client for a referral very much the same way. Make them feel like they're your friend, not like you're doing a business deal with them, not like you're pressuring them into giving you referrals. It's a complete turnoff. So think about that. It's not much information, but think about that a bit as you ponder how to build your referral business and make that a very important strategy in your business. So I'd really work on my internet marketing. It's huge. I would work on my referrals. You need to start doing that from day one. The bigger you get, the more impactful that is on your business. And then you have to have a street marketing campaign. And by that, and I've talked about it before, that means that whenever you get a new client on a street, you market to all around. You market to the whole street and tell them, I got a new client. You don't say it like that, but you basically inform the street, hey, we're good enough to have earned the trust of your neighbor. Maybe you want to work with us. You lay out your arguments for why they should do business with you, and and you go about building a reputation on that street. Month after month, you're marketing to everybody on that street. You're earning their trust to eventually you get to the point where a number of the clients on that street are buying from you, commercial or residential. So that's very important. In the residential market, you hear about the 5 arounds. This is no new strategy. A lot of people talk about it. Fewer people actually do it. Put out door hangers. Put out marketing pieces, letters on the houses around you. So you're probably looking for one specific thing. I can't give you one thing. I do a lot of things. If I was dependent on one thing, my business would be a fraction of what it is today. It's about doing a bunch of things. It's about putting a system in place so that you can get those things done. So I would do all of it. And everything I'm giving you right now is fairly low cost. The internet marketing is the most expensive thing to do, depending on how you go about it. And then after that, the street mailers, they can get a little bit expensive, but I mean, expense is relative. I mean, expensive is only expensive if you do a lot of marketing and nobody buys. If you do some marketing, that might be expensive, but then you sell a bunch of business, that offsets your expense. So, it's only expensive if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, you don't do it long, you try something different. Not meaning you don't do street mailers, meaning that you rewrite your marketing campaign, you try it from a different angle. I've said it a million times, knock on doors. I don't believe in knocking on doors long term unless you hire people to do it for you. But I believe in knocking on doors initially to find out what your market wants, what they don't like about their current providers, because that goes into your copy. You address those concerns. If they all say, we hate that nobody answers phones, well, then you address that in your marketing. You tell everybody you answer phones. If everybody complains that their previous fertilization weed control company burned the lawn 3 times during the summer, if that's the trend you hear over and over again, you address that in your marketing. If everybody complains nobody ever closes my gate, you hear it over and over again, you address that in your marketing. These are your hot points. Knocking on doors exposes all those hot points. So, again, I'm not giving you one thing, I'm giving you a bunch. There is no one secret magic bullet. At least not that I found. So I'm giving you low cost stuff. So let's go back. Online marketing, critical. Which means, by the way, you've got to have a website and a decent website. You can't just do a website like everybody else. You got to, sell the objections. You got to have an estimate request form where people can put in a request for an estimate and then you get back to them. You got to have stuff like that. You've got to do referral marketing. It's not that hard. It doesn't cost you any money. Simply ask. Street mailers. You got to do your street mailers. Not very expensive. I mean, basically you get a new client, 40, 50 homes on the street, 50 cents a piece roughly, maybe 60. You mail to all the homes on the street. And you do it again next month. 5 rounds, 7 rounds, whatever you want to call them. You're putting marketing on the homes around the property every few weeks when you mow the lawn or do a fertilization weed control treatment. And there's a lot you can be doing here. Then you get into postcard marketing. So the ones I gave you prior, before this, I just mentioned postcard marketing, you need to do every one of those. They cost you very little money. They all work. You got to start doing those immediately. Then when you want to get more aggressive, that's when you get into the JV deals I've talked about, the joint ventures, where if you're only doing fertilization weed control, you go find a maintenance company that doesn't do fertilization weed control, and you try to get them to sell your services to all their clients, and you give them a little cut of the action. And so that's an idea. Then you get into postcard marketing, you get into letters. So a lot of this I've talked about before, and the reason I've talked about it before is because it all works. I really encourage you to do a number of different things. And so there is no one most successful marketing activity. If I had to say one thing, like if I was just starting over today and I could only do one thing, if that was the case, I would do internet marketing. Pay per click and SEO optimization, trying to get my website to, if that's all I could do. And then after that, if I could do nothing else, except I could do 2 things, then I would do that and referrals. And then if you said you can only do 3 things and you can never do anything else ever, I would do the street mailers. That'd be the next thing I did. So, but if you limited me just those 3 things, I'd be pretty depressed. I wouldn't want to be in the business. I mean, you need to be doing a lot of stuff. Eventually you need to get into broadening your your base. You need to be doing the postcards and the letters, and you need to be doing some, we don't do a lot of this yet, but you need to be doing some free PR type stuff. You might need to be marketing in some magazines. I mean, that's when you really start getting bigger and more aggressive. So, you don't want to be limited, but those are probably the 3 things I would do first, and then I would expand as quickly as I can into different media, into different marketing opportunities. Hope that's helpful.